Call to order the February 5th, 2025 Planning Agency meeting. Everybody please rise and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Joel, I'll turn it over to you for reorg of the board.
Yep, so we got to reorganize. I guess we'll see. Does anybody want to nominate anybody for chair?
I'll nominate Greg.
Right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, roll call vote. Neil? In favor?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Monica?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Sounds good. Looks like we have a new chair.
Did you review the compensation package?
I was looking for the benefit plan. It was a little lacking.
Do I take over?
Yeah, you can take over for sure.
Nomination for vice chair.
Anyone don't make me bad? No, I'm trying not to.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I guess you can nominate Vernon, even though he's not here.
It's the odd man out.
Are you interested in being our vice chair? Sure.
I'll second.
All right, we have a second. Neil?
Yes.
Brittany?
In favor? Yes.
Anthony?
Yes.
And I'll say yes. There's no secretary anymore, is there? Or is there still? Since the minutes are recorded.
I have a secretary here, so yeah, we probably should do is have a secretary.
Motion for a secretary?
I'll nominate myself to be the secretary.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote. Neil?
Yes.
Monica?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
And I say yes. So appointed. With that, we'll go to the agenda. Only item on the board tonight is 105 Lee Drive. Do we have a representative for the applicant?
Neil Stein, representing the applicant. With me is my client, Mr. Hahn.
Same thing, Neil, with the microphone. Let's try to use them as much as we can.
Okay. So the property that's before you this evening is 105 Lee Drive. And page 1 of the plan set will show you the location of the property relative to surrounding properties. It's currently vacant, and it's approximately 4.5 acres, located in a limited industrial district. It's surrounded essentially by what I would call a mixture of industrial uses, although there are 2 hotels that adjoin the property, which provides actually an excellent opportunity for this particular use, which I'll get into momentarily. But the proposal is for an indoor sports training facility. Mr. Hahn operates a facility currently, Max Power Sports, in King of Prussia, which he has, I would say, has outgrown significantly and needs to build a new facility. And we think this location would be ideal. He can certainly tell you better than I what types of sports training goes on at the site, who does the coaching, and hours, days and hours of operation. Yeah.
Please come up to the microphone, please, so we can get it recorded.
Hello, thank you. We are currently in King of Prussia at a 30,000 square foot facility. We provide baseball, volleyball, badminton, and a couple other sports here and there. And we do youth training at that current facility. And as Neil said, we have outgrown it and looking for something bigger to expand into some other sports. We like to get involved in cheerleading and gymnastics on top of what we currently offer, and also do basketball.
What are the days and hours?
So basically, like I said, it's for youth, so it's usually after school and into the evenings, and then on the weekends when the kids are not in school.
And mostly what occurs on the weekends would be tournament type
Yes,
activity?
competition.
And the nice thing, as I said, about this particular location is that we've been able to enter into agreements with the two hotels because we have a number of people who come from out of town for the weekend tournaments. So we'll be directing them to the adjoining hotels, and that will assist us in terms of the weekend parking. There's more than enough parking on site to accommodate weekdays. The issue is really during tournaments, so with the addition of the hotel parking, we've certainly got more than enough to accommodate weekend parking as well. The normal weekday parking demand is 88 spaces. On the weekends, generally 269 spaces. So with the 135 on site plus what's available to us from the hotels that have graciously agreed to provide their parking in exchange for directing customers their way, we certainly have more than adequate parking to handle the demand. So from a zoning perspective, we need relief for the use, whether it's a special exception or a variance. I'm not quite sure. It depends on your reading of the code. But there is relief required for the use. The parking requirement at 4.5 per thousand is really incredibly high. So there will be relief necessitated for parking. And I think, according to this plan, slight relief for maximum building coverage from 33% to 40.1%. Let me just make sure I hit everything. I think that's it from an overview of the project.
Can you just state the waivers that you're requesting for the minutes, please?
You mean variances?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. Either a special exception or a variance to permit the use. If you classify it as an indoor sports training facility, as a fitness center, then it's a special exception. If it's something other than a fitness center, it would be a variance. We would require a variance from the required number of parking spaces and a variance from the building coverage requirement.
So I will say, we did have a variance recently for pickleball, if you guys recall. We classified that as a recreational use, so they got a variance.
Yeah, I
And-
did read that decision.
Yeah, so we would classify this most likely as a variance. And also note that Lonnie's not here tonight, but he does not have any issues or concerns with the project. Parking? They did get a parking variance, but I think they were looking roughly at the same what you have here, which is 4.5 spaces per 1,000. And very similar peak hours and weekend busy time, so.
So from your perspective, there's no other issues outstanding?
It'll have to go through a land development, obviously.
Neil, any questions?
Yes, I do. Are you going to have security at this property?
Yes, we will.
And is that when it's operating or when it's not operating?
It'll be most likely during the tournament times on the weekends, and we'll be licensing a third party.
And so you're moving from 30,000 square feet to like 80,000 square feet.
Yes.
So how many basketball courts are you going to have on there?
Right now, we're kind of going over all that, but we'd like to be somewhere around, so it'd be multi-use, somewhere around 6 or 8 courts.
And so you're going to host tournaments there, right?
Yes,
So I have a daughter who played a lot of AAU basketball.
yes,
So is that what you're thinking?
yes.
Yeah, that's a lot of people that come in there.
Going in and out, we
Yeah.
understand that.
And you said you have agreements with the hotels there?
Yes.
Are they written agreements?
Yes.
Okay. That's
And I'm sure you're familiar with something called Play and Stay?
Yeah.
Yes. So we have a captive audience with that, with the parking as well.
My experience has been they move in for the weekend. I mean, they move in the whole area. They take over a big spot.
So I think it'll be great for the business and other surrounding
It'll be great
areas.
for the hotels, for sure.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and currently, they're running well below max occupancy at this point. They could use the business, in other words.
Brittany?
Question for you. Would you be open to completing, if you made it to, if the variances were approved, would you be open to a traffic study during land development?
I'm sorry?
Would the applicant be open to a traffic study during land development?
Traffic or parking?
Traffic.
Yeah, I think we would, absolutely. We're currently in the process of doing a parking study as well, which is where these statistics come from. But yeah, sure.
Along with that, if, depending on what your parking study would reveal and a potential future traffic study, would you be open to the idea of making the building a bit smaller to accommodate more parking?
That I can't answer right now. Because the building was designed with his particular use in mind, so.
Monica?
So the agreement you have with the hotels, is there a time limit on that?
No. Yeah.
My other question is, so it looks like for hotel number 2, there's relatively safe walking access between the hotel and the facility. But for hotel number 3, looks like it may be more difficult for people to safely cross. Consider,
Thinking maybe a crosswalk or something
yeah.
in this location. That makes sense to me.
Tony?
Provided the calculations, I mean, we've done, as far as the use, I think we, over the years, have allowed like surgery centers and dance studios now, and pickleball, and same similar zone, campus zone, industrial or industrial. So I don't know how you found that. I guess the calculations of parking and apply the pickleball ratios and see if that's consistent with that. Yeah. Otherwise, I can go with it.
I'm good with it, too. My biggest concern is parking. I've been involved in numerous all-day tournaments. Parking's nuts. And the concern would be the crosswalk from the second hotel in, and I'm assuming with your security, you have people that are going to be directing traffic more than policing. It'll be directing traffic and maybe helping aid with that crosswalk, because people camp out all day with tents and coolers, and I've been to a number of all-day events, so that's my biggest concern. And Council, any other questions?
No, Township, like I said, I talked with Lonnie, he has no concerns. Council does not have any major concerns that weren't brought up already tonight, so
Is there any members in the audience have any questions, concerns, comments?
She's in support of the application.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion to the zoning hearing board to approve the variances requested for the maximum building coverage and the reduction in parking, as long as the applicant is amenable to a parking and traffic study.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. That is 5-0 unanimous.
Thank you very much. If you don't want the plans, I'm happy to take them back.
Save the paper.
Use them at the zoning board.
Next up.
Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from November. Has everybody reviewed them, and any questions, comments on the minutes? Do we have a motion to approve?
So let's see who can vote here. Brittany, Monica, Tony, and Craig.
Yes.
Okay.
Second?
A second.
All in favor? Aye. 4-0. And before we conclude the meeting, I just want to go on record of personally, and with the board, I'll speak for the board, of thanking Vince and Mike for all their years of service to the planning agency. With that, we're adjourned.